To all the founders and CEOs who are currently feeling stuck or in a rut, I'm going to share with you 6 hidden gems from billionaires and millionaires. Wait, because you're going to watch this till the end, and I'm hoping you're going to share this with 5 to 10 other entrepreneurs, I'm not going to share 6, I'm going to share 7 actionable steps to get you being more productive and to make sure that you get unstuck. Quick story, remember that time that you watched Steve Jobs saying that advert that
here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels.
Well, truthfully, that's part of the secret behind Kushner.com. We thought, you know what? If we had a community for entrepreneurs and we wanted it to be the best in the world, what would it look like? What would it include? And we thought, you know what? It would include the top startup founders. It would include billionaires. It would include millionaires. It would include people that are hustling really hard, that are not quite there. It would also include really good personable advice about how to grow as a human being. And that's why I'm not only going to tell you to check out Kushner.com, I'm also going to advise you to check out our friend Leroy Powell. You can check him out on leroy.uk. He's a great guy. He gave me a lot of these concepts, and I have to be humble enough and show respect to him. Without him, some of these concepts wouldn't be out here, and I'm very appreciative. And to all the entrepreneurs that are watching this, going through a hard time, going through a good time, I'm rooting for you, and the rest of the video is definitely something that's going to help you up your game. Stick around to the end because there's some few gems that I haven't shared with anyone, and these billionaires and millionaires, thank God, have given me permission to share it with you because they also want you to see good and to do well. And I ask for you 3 things. Kindly share what this video has to offer with 5 people. If you're feeling ambitious, why not make it 10? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notifications button. And the last one is a really good gem. It's a literal game changer. It's a hidden secret that nobody wants to talk about. My personal favorite is number 5, about the 70% rule. I'll tell you more, but it's actually in the content. Let's carry on with the video. The first one is to shrink the overwhelm. And what that means is when your brain is overloaded, it usually is one of the results as to why you're stuck, you're stressed out, right? So instead of thinking, hey, I need to raise 10 million pounds or $1 million, let me write to my first 3 investors. So you're just thinking about those 3 investors that you're writing an email to, and that's 3 investors versus a 10 mil goal, which might take 3 to 4 months, right? Another one might be that you want to scale and sell your software to 10,000 users. Instead of that, you might want to just aim for the first 10 calls, or you might want to aim for the first 100 users and then take it from there. What you're doing is you're shrinking this huge mammoth task into bite-sized chunks that you can actually take care of. And that way it reduces your stress, it reduces you being afraid, and it's positive action, which leads to this virtuous cycle versus a vicious cycle, and it helps you get things done, achieve more goals, and be a happy person all around. Number 2, the Eisenhower matrix. Now, that's important because it was initially from the former US President Dwight David Eisenhower, who some people sometimes forget was a 5-star general leading the military in various aspects of the Second World War. Why is that important? It's important because it means this theory is not just a theory, it's also been experienced by a practitioner in times of war. And war means that there's a lot of stress, which means you have to get rid of the nonsense and deal with the most important things. I like this framework because it's very to the point. It's very defluffed, if you will. And he talks about 4 main areas, which I'm going to break down now. And the first one is if something is urgent and important, you do it now. So if you're a CEO or a founder, that means your investor catch-up meetings with them, your stand-up meetings with your employees, of letting them know what needs to be done and when it needs to be done, giving them tasks and maybe the outputs that you want, so that way you're leading in a transformational style. Number 2 is something's important, but it's not urgent and you can schedule it. So think of maybe I need to put out a job description. Perhaps I need to review profit and loss or a balance sheet for end of year accounts. It is important, but it's not very urgent. Number 3 is something's urgent, but it's not important, like putting a post out for a job. It's important, but if it's not done, it's not the end of the world. I could do it later or I could delegate it, right? And the last thing is it's none of them, which means remember, if it's something that is not as important, let's say I wanted to go on a walk, for example, or I want to do some artwork. It's a nice hobby, but if I haven't done my core tasks, then this needs to be on the back burner. And the fact that, again, this came from a military expert, a 5-star general who was leading at the time an allied coalition, then it gives you this sense that it came out of an actual thing that he had to do. It wasn't theory, this was practice. He's a practitioner. And I advise everybody to use it. I've started using it. I found that it's given me a lot more clarity, and I'd advise you to use it, because when I don't really use it, what I've noticed is I start slipping into doing some things that make me feel like I'm doing stuff, when in actual fact, I might just be procrastinating. Hope you're not. Number 3 is create a sense of urgency, and then don't forget to celebrate when you hit those goals. You see, overthinking is the enemy of progress. And what causes it is having these huge mammoth deadlines instead of creating bite-sized chunks. So I thoroughly encourage you, no matter which department you're in, break down those key KPIs. If, for example, you need to ship out a SaaS product, then maybe do it out with smaller updates in an agile method. And when you do that, don't forget to go out and grab a pizza, or maybe go bowling together with your team, or perhaps even go to the cinema. If your deadline is to, for example, hire a person, you've put up the job description, go do something small. You've hired the person, go celebrate, go meet them, go take them out, and go as a team. Because as that African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And this is what number 3 is about. It's about creating not only that sense of urgency, but more important, using it to be the glue that makes your team more cohesive, more productive, and hitting those goals. Similar to number 3 is number 4, which is setting short deadlines. One of the ways that I found really useful is to use the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro being the Italian word for tomato. And what that meant is, back in the day, they used to use a tomato timer and put it on, say, 25 minutes. So that every 25 minutes you're focused, and then you can take your eye off the ball for about 5 minutes, relax, and then you focus again for 25 minutes in little chunks. And that's a practical way of applying number 3 in number 4, which is this Pomodoro technique. This is just one of many. I tend to find it's more useful when I put it even lower, like when I'm starting something, putting it at 10 minutes, at 15 minutes, at 20 minutes. This even works in the gym, so it's not always just work. But the whole point and moral of this aspect is to do it in bite-sized chunks that work for you as an individual, and something that definitely is easy to do, so that you don't go procrastinating and wasting time figuring out how to start. This is starting. Number 5 is the 70% rule. That's just a fancy way of saying make decisions with the amount of info that you have. It does not need to be 100%. You might be waiting for all the tedious information from accounting rather than focusing on, say, gross profit margin, revenue, maybe your overheads. You're thinking, yeah, I need some extra. I need to get the EBITDA. I need to get my liabilities. I need to get everything. But sometimes having 70% of the information is enough to make that decision. Maybe you're waiting for something from your solicitors or from your operations, but if you have the bulk of the information, then why not just make the decision now? As long as you have the most important part, you've done your due diligence, you've asked those questions, and you're past the brainstorming stage, obviously, at this section, right? And sometimes it's our own stresses or our fear of failure that prevents us making the decision. You probably know what you already need to do. Your gut feeling is probably telling you which direction you need to be going in. And the 70% rule is just simply allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to pull the trigger in the metaphorical sense, unless you're in Texas. And I ask for you 3 things. Kindly share what this video has to offer with 5 people. If you're feeling ambitious, why not make it 10? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notifications button. And the last one is a really good gem. Number 6 is leveraging accountability. The big A word, accountability. That just means that you've got people keeping you on track. That could be a mentor, that could be a therapist, that could even be your personal trainer. If you are hypothetically, let's say 95 kilos and you want to get to 85, having a personal trainer is good because he's going to measure you. He's going to do those waist measurements. He's going to do the pecs. He's going to do your fat ratio. The same is applicable in business. You might have a business mentor, you'll have your predicted forecast, but you'll also have your actual, what you're actually delivering. And having that form of accountability is important to give you that sense of urgency, but more importantly, is to make you feel that you will get checked if you're doing things that you're not supposed to. And I found that really useful. You tend to find a lot of the millionaires and billionaires do have mentors. Yes, they might not be talking about it, but they probably do. And I'm saying this from someone who is experienced with talking to different mentors and to different people of that caliber. I've tended to notice that anybody who's doing above 3 mil in revenue has mentors, and they're sometimes very humble about telling you that. So why not do the same yourself and find that person to hold you accountable and leverage that? I suggest you do. I'm doing it, I can admit it. And anybody who's telling you they're not is... there you have it. And as promised, number 7 is embracing the imperfections. Nothing is perfect in life apart from perfection. That sounds very philosophical, but the point is, done is always better than looking for perfection, because if it's done, it's out there, you're able to get feedback, you're able to get iterations, you're able to do what Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook said, break things quickly, pick yourself up, keep going. Because the best in any business, be that the Apples, the Microsofts, the Amazons, not just to look at the tech sector, but also in, say, retail, if it's a Zara or a Nike, they're constantly pushing out new products and services, constantly getting checked and feedback from their potential users. Even things like beta testing, that's just a polite way of saying we're in testing phase, we're getting feedback, so that when they do put that really good product out there, then it satisfies customer wants and needs. And it's making it a culture within your business. And to make it a culture, one of the best ways is doing things, and people tend to follow your role modeling. Especially if you're a CEO or a founder, you set the tone. So let's make it a happy tone, a positive tone, and let's keep getting ahead together. So if you've made it this far, that means you've heard all those 7 rules, and it means that you've applied a lot of them and you've gained value. Please kindly share the one rule that's helped you the most in the comment section. I personally found the Eisenhower matrix really good. If something's urgent and important, I get it done. Everything else I push to the side, because as a CEO, as a founder, your time is precious. Your time is not money, it's experience, it's limited, and it's finite. And that's what makes life so beautiful, because at the end of the day, we're only here for such a minute amount and minuscule amount of time. Finally, I want to ask you to kindly hit the notifications button, to subscribe, and to share this with as much people that you think is necessary, who might need to hear this message to get unstuck. Because a lot of times we forget that some people are also going through a bad time, through a hard time, and sometimes they can't see the way out, because when you're in a rut, when you're stressed out, you go into fight or flight, and if God forbid you're in the wrong one, it might just bring you down even worse, or you're going in the wrong direction. And this is what we're trying to avoid. If no one's told it you today, I appreciate you, I'm rooting for you, and I wish for your success, because why wouldn't I? Let's go.